Angie Stone's funeral was not simply a ceremony to mark the end of a life, but a deeply emotional homegoing that felt like a moment of collective mourning and gratitude for an entire generation. From the moment people began arriving, there was a heavy presence in the room. Not just sadness, but reverence. It was clear that this was a woman whose voice had done more than entertain. Angie Stone's music had walked people through heartbreak, self-discovery, healing, faith, and love, and now all of those emotions gathered in one place. The service reflected the fullness of Angie Stone's life. There were moments of quiet reflection, moments of music, moments of laughter through tears, and moments where grief felt almost too heavy to hold. Friends and family spoke about her not only as an artist, but as a woman who lived with intention, who spoke her truth even when it was uncomfortable, and who never separated her art from her real-life experiences. Angie Stone didn't just sing about life. She lived every lyric she ever recorded. As stories were shared, a picture began to form of Angie's journey through the music industry. She was a woman who came up in a time when the industry was not kind to women who refused to be molded. Yet Angie Stone stood firm. She sang about mature love, complicated emotions, motherhood, mistakes, forgiveness, and self-worth at a time when those themes weren't always celebrated. That courage is why her music still resonates so deeply today. While the service honored Angie's professional legacy, it never lost sight of who she was at her core. Again and again, speakers emphasized that Angie Stone's proudest role was being a mother. That truth became especially clear when the moment arrived for her daughter to step forward. As she approached the podium, the energy in the room shifted completely. The silence that fell wasn't just respect. It was anticipation, mixed with shared grief. Her daughter stood there with remarkable strength, carrying a weight no child is ever prepared to carry. She didn't begin by speaking about fame or success. She began by speaking about love. She talked about Angie Stone as Mom, the woman who nurtured her, guided her, disciplined her, and believed in her even during the most difficult moments. It was immediately clear that this tribute would be something unforgettable. As she continued, her words revealed the private side of Angie Stone that the world rarely saw. She spoke about mornings, conversations, advice given during hard times, and the way her mother always found the right words when life felt overwhelming. These were not polished stories. They were raw, intimate memories, shared from the heart. And that honesty is what made the tribute so stunning. Her daughter spoke about the sacrifices Angie made, especially as a working mother in a demanding industry. She talked about how her mother balanced long studio hours, performances, and travel, while still making sure her children felt loved, protected, and seen. She explained that Angie's strength wasn't just something she sang about. It was something she lived every day. At times, emotion overtook her voice and she had to pause. In those pauses, the room filled with quiet tears. You could see people nodding, wiping their eyes, and holding one another. It was a shared moment of understanding, not just of loss, but of gratitude for having witnessed Angie Stone's life and legacy. One of the most powerful parts of the tribute was when her daughter spoke about Angie's music. She explained that those songs came from real experiences, real pain, real healing, real growth. Angie Stone didn't create music to follow trends. She created music to tell the truth. That truth helped people feel less alone, and her daughter made it clear that her mother understood the responsibility that came with that gift. As the tribute came to an end, it was clear that this moment had become the emotional heart of the entire service. Titles, awards, and industry recognition faded into the background. What mattered most was the love between a mother and her child, and the legacy of values, wisdom, and strength that Angie Stone passed down. The service continued with music, and hearing Angie Stone's songs in that setting felt different. The lyrics carried more weight. Every note felt like both a goodbye and a promise. A goodbye to her physical presence, and a promise that her voice will never disappear. Her music now holds even deeper meaning for those who loved her. As the final moments of the funeral approached, there was a sense of peace mixed with sorrow. The pain of loss was still present, but so was the comfort of knowing that Angie Stone lived a life of purpose. She loved deeply, spoke honestly, and left the world richer than she found it. Angie Stone's funeral was not the end of her story. Through her music, her influence, and the stunning tribute delivered by her daughter, her spirit continues to live on. Legay.